Alright, now it's going to start seeming like a real weapon review because now I'm going to showcase the weapons in Not a Hero. So, the first one I'm going to start with is the Tactical Knife. An army knife designed for combat. The handle and blade have both been fine-tuned just for Chris. Alright, so let's check it out real quick. Yep. Tactical Knife. Is that one step higher than Combat Knife? Yep, it's pretty decent. Alright, so let's go ahead and test it out. And if you're wondering why I'm always butted up against stuff, it's because if you notice, the picture blurs out a little bit when you have a lot of distance, but it becomes clearer when you're up against a wall. I'm talking about when you see the weapon here. Like, see this versus like this. It's slightly blurred, not much, but still. I like to get the clearest picture possible, so don't judge me. So here we go with the testing. Alright, used just like a typical knife. Alright, so I guess I will go ahead and test it on a molded. Alright, as usual, I always lose count when it comes to knife tests, like on every weapon review I've ever done. I think that took 22. Of course, if I'm wrong, there'll be a number here on the screen. So, that is with just conventional slash and stab right here. Let's see if the damage is any different if I do these types of stabs against the molded. So that took about 15 stabs to kill the molded with this stabbing motion. So it probably does deal slightly higher damage than the regular slice and dice, but this one's a little slower. And I feel like it's more dangerous because you can't really defend when you're in this stance. So if you ask me, it's better to just do it this way. The smart thing to do, obviously, though, would be to use your melee when you have the opportunity, because Chris is equipped with melee. If you stun a molded, either by like chopping its arm off like I did earlier, or if you deflect it, you give yourself the opportunity for a melee move. And you could save a lot of ammo, time, and health by doing melee moves. And I just noticed it disappeared. Alright. Well, that is going to conclude the Tactical Knife. And by the way, it is with Chris at the start of the game, so there's no location for it. Alright, now for the next weapon, the Grenade. A general-purpose hand grenade. The explosion is strong enough to knock down multiple enemies in one go. Alright, a basic description for an explosive device, such as a grenade. Let's check it out. So yeah, looks like your average hand grenade, obviously. Probably more modern than most grenades I've seen in video games. Alrighty. Well, let's test it out, I guess. Alrighty, perfect. So yeah, some explosive action here. Obviously, good for crowd control. But let's go ahead and test it against the molded. Okay, well it actually took all 3 of my grenades to defeat this. It's probably because I don't think any of the ones I threw were like directly on it. It was more like near it, so it was blast radius damage. But it likes to take out the limbs. It never like destroys the torso. That's actually a funny way to go about. Of course, don't do what I did. Don't use 3 grenades on a single ooze. Use only 1 at a time when you're like dealing with crowds. That is what it's for anyway, I would say. Alrighty, that is going to conclude my showcase of the grenade. And just like the knife, Chris comes pre-equipped with some of them, and you can pick some up throughout the game. Now for the next weapon, the Incendiary Grenade. Isn't this starting to sound familiar? Start with a hand grenade, now we have Incendiary Grenade. A hand grenade that explodes into flames that engulf the surrounding area. Alrighty, typical description of a flame type of grenade. Let's look at it real quick. Oh, right on the can, it says Incendiary. Alright. Nice red tone, just like every Incendiary Grenade, basically, since Resident Evil 4. Yep. Alright. So let's go ahead and test it out. That's a pretty wide area of flames that it produces. Don't want to throw that too close to yourself. I've burned myself several times, actually, throughout this game, so I would know. Alrighty, let's go ahead and test the Incendiary Grenade on that one molded. Alright, took me 2 Incendiary Grenades to defeat that molded. So, the first one was a direct hit, and it didn't spread the flame, so that's probably not the best way to do it. The second one, I managed to hit the floor, and it spread some flames around them, and then it did continuous damage to it. So, I'm assuming if I had done the floor the first try, I might have only taken 1 Incendiary Grenade to defeat this thing. Once again, with this weapon review for the DLC weapons, I'm not being very detailed with it, because there's not a lot of weapons to compare to. But anyway, those are my recommendations. Hit the floor, and once again, I would use it on a crowd, unless you're completely out of ammo, and you happen to have one of these on you, and you're getting in the corner or something. Also, once again, don't throw it too close to you. Alrighty, and Chris does not start with this in his inventory, but like the regular grenade, you can pick these up throughout the game. I managed to get a total of 5 up to this point. Alright, that is it for the Incendiary Grenade. Now for the last handheld weapon, the Neuro-Stun Grenade. A hand grenade that releases a paralyzing gas that stuns nearby enemies. Alrighty, so this is very similar to the Neuro rounds of the grenade launcher from the main game. Does the same effect. It pretty much slows down enemies, almost stops them entirely on their tracks, and makes them totally open to attack. Alright, so let's check it out real quick. So it has like a black finish. You see nerve gas right there. Can I zoom in and out on this? I don't think I can. Okay. That's alright. Alright. It's funny, like, when you examine it, it's a black finish, while the initial picture looks like a blue finish. Alrighty. And here it is, equipped. Same thing. It's like more black than blue, if you ask me. Alright, let's just quickly test this out real quick. So yeah, it just releases a nerve gas of some sort. Alright, if I hit this too close to myself, will I get affected? Yeah, you do. Luckily, it doesn't affect you like it should. Alrighty. Now, I don't know if this grenade actually deals damage. Rather, it's kind of like the flash grenade in most games, where it basically doesn't deal damage. It's just used as a stunner. But let's find out. Alright, so now it's stunned, and it can't really move. So it's completely open to attack here. So I'm going to use all 5 of the rest of these 5 and see if it kills it at all. Alright, so if they can be killed by these things, 6 is not enough. So the Neuro-Stun Grenade is primarily used as a stunner and will help you quite a bit with killing off enemies if you're like low on ammo and whatnot. Especially if you manage to get a crowd in it and slow them all down. Alrighty, Well, that's all I have to say, really, about the Neuro-Stun Grenade. So, we're going to conclude it. And one more time, just like the grenade and Incendiary Grenade, you collect these throughout the scenario. Chris does not start with them. Alright, now we're moving into the firearms of Not a Hero. And there are only 2 in the whole thing. The first one is the handgun of the mode, and that is the Samurai Edge Albert Wesker Model 01. In the regular game, it's just known as the Albert 01. An Albert Wesker model handgun designed for the sole purpose of eliminating bioweapons. Packs a punch. Alright, let's check it out. Yeah, it's the Samurai Edge, basically. With an interesting looking silencer. This is basically the same handgun from that you unlock in the main game. It's just like Chris's version or whatnot. Alrighty, looking good. Here it is equipped. Now Chris is holding it just like Ethan, but watch when I aim. Chris actually uses the sights, because he's a trained soldier. It's the only reason I'm really reviewing this weapon again, is because he aims it differently, and there's, oh, I forgot to mention, so there's 2 types of ammo for it. There's regular handgun ammo, and there's anti-ray gun ammo, also known as Ramrods. So, because there are specific enemies in this DLC that are only killed by the Ramrod ammo. You could use the Ramrod ammo on normal enemies, but normal ammo will not work against these ray gun enemies. Alright, so let's quickly go ahead and test out the Albert 01. First with... I gotta reload it. First with regular ammo. Alright, so what's interesting is once you empty the clip, the reload animation is different with an extra step. Check this out. Pulls the slider. While a normal reload, as you see here, simply the magazine. It's probably the most realistic reload in any game so far. Alright, now let's try the Ramrod ammo. Oh. Much more recoil, a lot more powerful, obviously. Alrighty, let's go ahead and test it out on the molded. Okay, so that took me about 14 shots to take down the molded. Then again, I was only aiming for the torso, like I do with all of my weapon reviews, to give you the most average damage rate. Now, what's always the smart thing to do would be to aim for the head. You know what? I'm actually going to do a head test real quick. See the massive difference when you go for the head? It only took 3 shots. The head is very weak for the molded, so yeah, go for the head. I'm just gonna be adamant about that. Alright, so I tested normal ammo. Let's test out Ramrod ammo on both the enemy it's designed for and the regular molded. These are the ray gun enemies here. Now see, this ammo is designed specifically for them, so it only takes 1 shot. Let's try a regular molded though. See if it makes a difference. Yeah. So only 1 shot for the regular molded as well. I guess that would be obvious. So yeah, these rounds are super powerful and are designed for those ray gun enemies, and it's probably good ammo to use on bosses, for sure. Alrighty, well, that is going to conclude the Albert 01 model for Chris. Alright, now for the last weapon, Thor's Hammer, also known as the Albert Wesker Model 02. An Albert Wesker model shotgun designed for the sole purpose of eliminating bioweapons, semi-automatic, and packs a punch. Alright, so let's check this beast out. See, it has the design of a machine gun, if you ask me. But it is a semi-automatic shotgun. Yeah. Alrighty, that's good enough. So here's the thing about this thing. If you play through the game and you meet certain requirements, you can earn a couple of sights for Thor's hammer. This one is the sight B, which accuracy is sacrificed for a large increase in firepower. This is unlocked by simply beating normal mode. But yeah, the current sight that's equipped is sight A, so if I equip this one right now and then check the now this is Thor's hammer sight A. It's just accuracy and firepower. Just normal statistics. There is a sight C, and it can only be found in professional mode. And what sight C does is greatly increases the accuracy and firepower. So it basically does what A here does, but I don't know, double. But I'm not going to include the sights in this weapon review because they're more like an upgrade, and I don't deal with upgrades in weapon reviews. Unless it's like all-out upgrades like Resident Evil 4 and 5, I do non-upgraded and fully upgraded. Whatever. I need to give you guys the most basic tests, so that's why I don't do upgrades. Alright, so this is that as it is. So let's go ahead and test it out. Alright, so yeah, it is a semi-automatic shotgun. So let's go ahead and test this beast on the molded. Alright, so it took a It took a total of 3 shots to defeat the molded with Thor's hammer. Alright, so yeah, it being a shotgun, that's why you want to be close range. It is a close range weapon mostly. Has decent firepower. Of course, always go for the head. It'll only take 1 shot for the head, trust me. Alrighty people, that is going to conclude Thor's hammer.